Happy Sunday! I can't believe it's Sunday. I feel like the entire week has been just flying by. And we had a really good service today at church and such a good word, such a good encouragement. And the worship today was on point. Okay, let me just say that. I felt like the most perfect songs came on, and it was just such a good moment. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about plans. And, you know, I feel like we often want to make plans about how we want our life to go. I think that the closer you get to the Lord, the more you realize that it's not about all of those plans that you have, rather, more of the stillness and just living every moment for what it is with the Lord and just allowing yourself to be moved by Him. I have mentioned in previous videos about my need for like striving and overachieving, and I've always just been somebody that's very goal oriented, and I feel like a lot of us probably can relate to that. I know there's a lot of you guys that are in healthcare, and I just want to say that a lot of us in healthcare tend to be this type of people. So I know that there's some of you that are going to relate to this video. But I think that oftentimes, as we get closer to the Lord and we, want to be in His will and be aligned to what He wants for our life, we're often left with like, well, what do we do? What do we do? What does that look like? And I just want to give you guys, I guess, an example or like some, I don't know, just words of what I'm going through in my season, in the season that I'm in right now. In one of the videos, I talk about how like I have, I work in medicine, so I work as a PA, and I am studying functional medicine, and I honestly like feel excited about that journey, but I have no idea what the Lord is going to do and if the Lord is going to use that or not, in the way that I think. Okay, so I truly believe that everything that we do, everything that we experience, the Lord is going to use. However, how He uses it oftentimes is not how we envision it. So, I had these things planned, and this big thing that I had thought that I was going to be doing, and the door to that closed. I don't know if that is a door that is going to continue to be closed, or if it's just a wait and like a not right now. And that's really hard if you get stuck on what you don't have. But I think that what makes life joyful and like is just having hope in the Lord and knowing that He knows better for us, that it is okay to just give Him that, whether you call it a burden or like that worry, giving it to Him and just be like, God, like whatever it is that you want to do with my life, like I'm cool with it. Everything that I've ever thought that I was going to do, but then surrendered it to the Lord, like He's been able to do way more than I ever imagined. Sure, there's things that maybe didn't go the way that the way that I thought, but like it's always better, I in this season right now that I'm like also doing these videos, I am excited of what the Lord can do, because I can see not only in my past, like what God has done in my life and like how He's multiplied things and how He's blessed me and how He's used everything that I've experienced for good. But also like I see what He's doing right now. I see what He's doing right now. For example, on YouTube, I see how in less than 3 weeks, He was able to, reach, I think I'm at like 100,000, views. Like that's insane. That's 100,000 people that have been able to hear a message about Jesus, about, encouraging others to get closer to God. Like that is so encouraging, because again, this isn't a platform about me. This isn't a platform about my life. This is a platform about how in my life God is working, and it in hopes that it encourages you to walk with Christ as well. Because like he is just worthy of our time, of our love. Like he is so worthy. Like he has so many things that he wants to do with your life. You just have to be open and surrender your life to him. um and not only that, but like without me ever having that expectation, like the Lord has been able to get this channel monetized in a really short period of time. Like without any strategy, without any expectation, without any listening to any guru, it's just like the message. I think we often forget. I've had a lot of comments about like people wanting to start YouTube. Like we often forget how important the message that we need to put out there is compared to the how we're going to do it. Like if we were to just put the faith in the fact that like God will allow what he wants to happen, like he will allow that to happen, and he'll just put, his favor on it. Like you don't even have to try. That's exactly how I feel about this YouTube channel. Like I am staying close in my relationship with God. Like I am prioritizing that. I surrender the fact that like I don't ever want it to be about me. I want it to be about the Lord. And everything that you guys see and anything that happens in this channel is just a reflection of the goodness of God. And I think that it's really easy, like for most of us, like let's say you're trying to start a YouTube channel. It's really easy to be like, well, I'm going to do this, and by 3 months I'm going to get to 10,000 subs, and in whatever. Like you start planning all of these things, but like if that is not God's will for your life, it's just not going to happen. So why worry and stress and try to strategize this entire thing if it's not God's will for your life? You're going to fight it. You're going to be worrying. You're going to be overwhelmed. And maybe I'm speaking to somebody right now that it maybe has been going through a journey, whether in your business, on social media, you're doing YouTube, and you're just feeling some resistance. Like you're like, why is this not happening like everybody else? Why is this not? Maybe it's just not what you're meant to do. Maybe it's just not the moment for you to do it. Maybe you are trying to copy other people instead of doing what you are being called to do in the manner that you're supposed to do it. And that's not easy because we're human beings. Like we want clear solutions. I get it. But we really need to be putting our relationship with God first and really asking with specific prayers to have him just do his will in our life, and for us to just surrender that. Because like I've mentioned in I think like 2 videos ago, like this isn't about God doing things for us. It's about us serving him. And if we continue to just plan and strategize and try to do everything our way, like sometimes it's not going to happen and you're going to get disappointed. With this whole journey of me doing functional medicine, like I honestly have like no idea where that's gonna go. Like I don't have any idea. But I'm hopeful and I'm excited about what he can do and how he can use that in my career, because I know it can help so many people, and I know it's something that's very needed, especially here where I'm at. Like we have the highest number of obesity and diabetes, all of this stuff. And I just truly believe that I can make a difference. And the only thing that I have to do is just surrender that to God, focus on what I'm doing, which is number one, go to work every day, do what I'm doing at work. Number two is like, make sure that I'm focusing on like the actual certification, on like learning things to the best of my ability, and that's it. Like, I'm not going to plan and make all these big things, because most often than not, like, it's not going to happen because it's not in God's will for our life. So, maybe for you, you want a different career. Maybe you're wanting a different job or something, and you're miserable where you're at. Like, sometimes all you can do is just focus on your job and do that really well, because that honors God, you know? Maybe in the meantime, you can look around and look for jobs, and that's a good action to take. But in everything that you do, bring it back to the Lord and be like, God, like, lead me to where you want me to go. And when things open up or when they don't, also talking to God about that and being grateful, and allowing Him to, or surrendering that to Him and being like, God, I know that maybe that job, I didn't get that job, but I thank you for allowing me to have that opportunity. And I pray that you use me in this time to correct any part of me that isn't ready for that position, you know? And these are hard prayers to pray, because it humbles us. It reminds us that we are not, we're not perfect. Like, there's so many things that we can learn through our experiences. There was years that I would like just struggle so much with my jobs, and I didn't know why I was struggling so much, and I didn't know where it was going, and I just felt like this is a dead end. Like, I should just change careers altogether. And yet, like, now looking back, I'm like, wow, like, I remember all of these situations that now I can, if those situations happen, I'm more equipped, I'm more ready for that, you know? And so, um sometimes, I guess, like, the biggest thing on that I want to say is, like, it's okay to just be in the moment in whatever situation you're in. Like, rest on the fact that God is doing all of the work behind the scenes, and that you don't need to strive and try to plan and try to do everything on your own. Like, don't lean on your own understanding, because that gets really overwhelming. That gets very, like, you start feeling like, well, why isn't it working? Why am I not good enough? Like, all of those thoughts come sometimes because we put ourselves in that situation, you know. This life of surrender is not easy by any means. All of us at some point want to control something about our life. And I have learned and am learning, to be honest with you, I'm still learning this, because it's really, really hard to not want to control things. But it's about, like, just like living our life right now. Stop wanting a different life when you have one. Like, you have a life right now, and things in your life right now that are worth living for. There is so much joy that is still to be seen and felt and lived, that if we focus on a future, thinking that the future has that joy and that that that's gonna be the end all, like, then what about right now? Then maybe that's why you're miserable. Maybe that's why you're so frustrated, because you're so focused on this life that you're trying to attain, that you're forgetting to live the life that you have now, you know? I think over the past year, that was a big lesson that I learned, is like, I was so focused on the next goal and achieving the next goal, that I was missing out on all of the wonderful things that were happening in my life. And if you just surrender that, like, it's so freeing, you know? Like, it's so freeing. Like, I want people to experience that, to be able to be excited and hopeful for things that may happen, but not hang on to that so tightly that we're missing out on all the great things that the Lord is doing in our life. Like I talked about this, I think a week ago. My husband and I went to a leadership meeting for a marriage ministry that we are part of at church. And this is going to be our first time being leaders. And that is really exciting to me because it was something that I had prayed about. Like, God, if you feel like I am, I am the right person for that position, like literally a year ago, I prayed that. If you feel like I'm the right person for that position, like I am willing to give you my yes. Like I'll do it. Like I may not know what I'm doing, but I'll do it. And to now a year later be asked to do that is such a blessing, and it's such a confirmation from the Lord that I'm on the right path. And I don't know where that's going to lead. Like I don't know, but I'm hopeful and just joyful of what could happen. And I'm also just excited about what is happening right now. Like I'm excited that I get to do this with my husband, that I get to like not only see other couples get closer to God and like improve their marriages, but the fact that I get to do that with my husband while also seeing his own personal growth with the Lord, and to know that God is going to continue to like improve things in me that can improve, that he's going to build up certain things that he wants to build up. For what reason, I don't know, but that is not for me to know. Like, it's just the fact that I can rest on the fact that the Lord has it, and that he knows better, you know? Like lately there's been well, I say lately, but honestly, it's been like a year, and it's kind of come back over the past couple of weeks, like something that I've been wanting to do, and I feel a call to do it, and I have no idea what to do. Like, I have no idea where to start. And it's a little bit of a, I'm just like you, right? Like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And so what I'm planning on doing is just really being specific about prayer when it comes to that situation. It's really easy to be distracted. Okay, I'll be honest, especially on the weekends. There's so many things going on with the kids and just activities that it's really easy to get distracted and not be in the word, and like not be in prayer and things like that. So I love Sundays, because Sundays I feel like I can kind of rest a little bit and relax a little bit more. But all that to say is that like I am just like you. Like I also struggle with like, okay, well, what's the next step? Where do I start? But the only thing that I know, because I've done it in the past, that I know to do is to pray about it, to journal, to talk to God about it, and to expect that the Lord is going to talk, and that he's going to tell me what to do, because he has done that for me. And I may not know how, but he does. I may not know when, but he does. So I have to trust, and I have to be expectant that he is not only going to speak for me, but that he's going to act on my behalf. And so my encouragement to you, if you feel like, but I haven't felt, God tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't have a calling on my life. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. You are not alone. I'm right there with you. But live in the moment that you have right now. Look around, look at all the wonderful blessings that you have, and focus on that. Number 2, be specific about prayer and be persistent about the prayer. Be persistent in prayer and talk to him about the things that you're thinking of, the things that you're wondering about. I started carrying a like a little journal with me, where if I get like a word, or like I get like a something that inspires me, like I'll write it down, and I use that as a way to it's almost like an act of faith that I'm expectant that the Lord is going to talk to me. So whenever I hear something, I feel something, whatever, I write it down. And if I go back, I can see the things that are coming up repeatedly. Okay, I started that this year. So, I really wanted find a way to like communicate with God in a different way, because I do believe that he talks to us all the time, but I just think that we're so distracted by all the noise that we don't hear him clearly. And so I encourage you to do that. And I don't know, I guess today's video was mostly to for one, like, just tell you that you're not alone in trying to figure out next steps and trying to figure out like what God is telling you that you should do. I get it. And also to tell you to do to not want to plan everything, because and I don't know the scripture, but it's like in the tip of my tongue, but you know, it's basically saying like, you know, we can have all the plans that we want, but the Lord is the one that directs our steps. So we just have to give it to God. We have to just allow him to do what he's going to do, and we just have to try to be obedient and try to listen to that still small voice. We'll see you guys at the next video.